Wake up in the morning, get my grind on. Hop in the shower, brush my teeth and get my shine on. Hey, Scholar Mac, we taking trips to different time zones. I feel like E.T. way these bitches trying to follow home. Wake up in the morning, get my grind on. Hop in the shower.
Welcome everybody to Living on Purpose podcast. We're your host, James Hagler, and myself, Jason Wilson. Today we have Mike Hollis from Proform Kicking. He's an NFL legend from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome. How you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right.
Going great.
Hey James, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling all right, man. I guess I'm all right, man.
Good.
Tom, he left the game, so it's all good, man.
Good. I'm glad to see that you're okay.
Yeah. I'm all right. We'll get you next year. Oh man.
So, Mike, man, during the NFL playoffs a couple of weeks ago, did you have any favorites? Any favorite teams?
You know, I've always been kind of watching the Rams. You know, obviously they're going to be in the Super Bowl, but I've got one of my old special teams coaches is still the special teams coach there, John Bonamego. He was the assistant special teams coach here in Jacksonville when I was with the Jaguars. And I just, he's a good guy. I communicate with his wife on social media about just stuff going on and just things like that. And, the team and how's John doing and all that. So, and, not only that, I think that they're playing in their home stadium, basically the Rams. I didn't think about that until they actually, made it to the big show, but they're going to have a home field advantage. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've played hard, and Stafford, having spent 12 years with the Detroit Lions and not even won a playoff game until just this year as a professional quarterback in the NFL. I think he deserves a ring. He's a good guy and worked real hard.
Well, that's how I feel about the Bengals. I want to see the Bengals win. They haven't won it. You know what I'm saying? And so it'd be nice to see them get one. And that kicker, every time that kicker got up to kick, I was thinking about you. I was like, man, and he has some pressure. You talk about pressure? Boy, it was some pressure on him.
He's handled it like a professional. I mean, he's
yes, he did.
He's 22 years old and just carrying his team to the Super Bowl. So he's done.
Man, that was phenomenal, man. And I was just like, man, he wanted, he did just like you said, because everything that we talked about and the questions that I asked you, I seen it right there in that kid. He just came out there, did his job, and that was that. Didn't even think twice about it. You know what I mean? Yep,
that's what you have to do as a kicker. You have to kind of you have to dumb it down in a sense where you don't care really what happens. You're more focused on that 1.3 seconds of what happens in between that time, and whatever happens. The guys that kick carefully or are afraid to miss, usually you're going to miss.
That's right.
So just do what you've done for weeks in and weeks out and all your life. It's, football life, of course, but just trust that. And, you don't need to change anything. There's nothing different about your operation.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it for him.
I wouldn't either, based on how he's done this whole playoff series. Yeah, for sure.
I know. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we saw some blowouts during the playoffs, and we saw some really close games too. Were there any surprises for you, Mike?
Not really. I mean, the Bengals kind of surprised me a little bit. They stepped up, and even the Rams kind of did. I've seen some sloppy play by the Rams a little bit here and there, and they kind of surprised me they're in. But I was kind of surprised that Tom Brady took a beating like he did.
Oh yeah.
And more so, I'm surprised he retired after that. Like, man, I thought, can't say if I were him, but I just thought, well, God, that guy's not going to want to end his NFL career on a game like that. He's got to come back for another season. But I mean, who knows? I mean, these guys he retired. Gronkowski retired, didn't he?
They always say that. They say that at the end, right? And then when it's time to come back, that itch is there. They like, wait a minute, I got it. Let me give him one more time, because he did say he would like to go out on top. He mentioned that, and then a couple of weeks after that, he's retiring. So I don't really believe him until the next season is here and they're not out there. That's when okay, it's official. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you 1,000%. Yeah.
I was really surprised at the Chiefs, man. It seemed to me like the Chiefs gave up towards the end, and I was like, wow, unbelievable. Because that team there, I mean, if they really want to beat you, they could beat you, man.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think they got a little lucky the week before against the Bills. The Bills didn't come out real strong in that game as well as far as what I remember, but winning the coin toss and then marching down the field and scoring a touchdown and the game's over. So
Right.
I was like, oh, don't let it happen again.
Right, it happened. It was just crazy, man. It was unbelievable. The Bengals, they were supposed to be there because I mean, everything was on their side. God was on their side, so they had to be there. And the Rams, didn't they have a losing record against the San Francisco? Every time they met San Francisco, they got their butt whooped.
Yeah.
So they wasn't going to lose that one. So maybe that's their best game. Who knows? It's going to be exciting to see next week.
I'm excited.
I mean, this coming Sunday.
Absolutely. I don't know. What do you think, Mike, about the Rams or the Bengals in the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Rams. I think
I got to go against the Bengals. Maybe I get one against it.
Yeah. The Bengals have been playing really well. They've had a lot of great things happen for them. I'm just wishing the Rams would win just because of those few reasons I mentioned earlier. But if the Bengals win, I'd be extremely happy for them as well. So I'm a terrible bettor when it comes to games or it comes to gambling things. I'm awful. So I can give you my prediction, but it's probably going to be wrong.
Right. Well, my dad used to always say, because it was funny because people used to ask him questions on what team he thought was going to win. And I would just love to hear his response because I know who he wants to go with, right? But sometimes when you talk to different fans, he don't want to say the opposite team. So he would say the best thing he'd say, well, my mind says, my mind says the Rams, but my heart's going with the Bengals. So I started using that philosophy as a way of betting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I find myself in a tough predicament on trying to bet on a team, I would have to use my brain. I said, okay, if you're going to put money on somebody, who you going to put money on? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you might put money on the Rams, but you want the Bengals to win,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The feeling of the heart can only go so far.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mike, are there any teams that you don't like in the NFL?
Of the two that are there? No.
No, just in general.
Okay. It's every team's got a chance. I don't have a good answer because I think every NFL team is equally qualified. I think I would assume. It's just a matter of getting the teams together and putting a winning team on the field. And it's tough. They made that movie Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's there's not a lot of truth to like the scenes in the movie and what happens with the players and the girls. And I'm like, come on, that's a little overreach, but in reality, Any Given Sunday, that's like, you can any team on Sunday can win the game. And it just depends on, you could have the best team in the world. And if you have a few players or more that just don't really care to play that day, then, they got their paycheck or getting a paycheck anyway. So I'll just, just kind of coast, whatever. You're going to get yourself in trouble. And, we've seen in the past where some teams haven't prepared. I remember even in the past, there was a backup quarterback that did not even read the playbook. And then the first string guy got hurt. I can't remember who it was. Then the quarterback got hurt and he's in there playing and he has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. Like, damn.
He might have been a third string quarterback. I can't imagine a second stringer wouldn't read the playbook, but probably a third stringer. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens, and this is a professional.
Well, we seen that. We seen Detroit. Who did Detroit beat? They beat the Cardinals. When it was
Yeah.
And they had won the game all year.
Yep.
They just wasn't like they said. They said they just wasn't ready to play with Detroit that night. Yeah. And wow, when I seen that, I was like, holy crap, man! Like, wow, Detroit.
And I've lived it firsthand. I've experienced this where, as a Jaguar, franchise, when we were good, we would go into teams. Cincinnati, for example, they've had a history of having some poor seasons here and there, and this particular year they weren't that great. So and again, what I'm really referring to is a lot of teams, and we did it as well. We play to the level of our opponent, and that's a huge no-no. Because if you just this is not a good team, we could just kind of take it easy this week. They're all good teams,
right? And it's like they say, coming towards the playoffs, a lot of teams that were getting beat early on in the season, now that they act together and they have to win certain games, and you're finding like the Jets was playing some ball, man. If you go in there and play them to their caliber, you will get surprised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable. I was like, wow, the Jets was just, they was Washington too. Washington came on too, and they started kicking ass a lot, man.
Yep.
I don't know, I'm kind of, automatically partial towards the Atlanta Falcons. I'm from Atlanta, so I'll always be an Atlanta fan. And, one of our biggest rivals is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the problem I have, Mike, is that they call themselves America's team. But I mean, when was the last time that they won a Super Bowl and they call themselves the America's team? I don't agree with that. What do you think about that? I
mean, it's been a while. The Cowboys always seem to have a lot of drama out of their headquarters, and I don't know what it is. It's just I actually have an ex teammate of mine who played for University of Idaho by the name of Doug Nussmeier, who I believe is the quarterbacks coach for the Cowboys. But that team has always been about game day and having great times, and inviting a million people on the field pregame and during the game. I remember as a kicker playing there in Dallas, you had no room. You had to move people out of the way so you could warm up in your kicking net. They just love to have the fan awareness there. They love the fans. They love the fan interactions. They love, and of course, obviously it sells tickets and that's a big business for them, of course. So, but the thing and I don't know if you guys saw this recently, that it was kind of a meme out there. It was kind of looked like an official letter from Roger Goodell, the NFL, saying that they're very upset that since the Rams are going to, play in their home stadium. And last year, the Buccaneers played in their home stadium, and this has never happened in history. And now 2 years in a row, and because of that, everyone's upset that the Rams are going to have some advantage or whatever. And of course, this is a meme; it's a joke. And then the last line says, "We're forever going to play the Super Bowl in Dallas because there'll never be a Cowboys team."
That's a lot of that's a lot of pressure playing in your stadium as well, and a lot of teams don't do well. I mean, Buccaneers is one of the only ones. For a long time, from what I can remember,
I don't think it's ever happened until
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's hard for that to happen. I mean, so good luck, Dallas.
No,
that's why. But see, if you're a betting man and you're betting on these teams, you have to. That has to be a factor in your betting. Going betting with the Rams. Okay, how many times has people won in their home state with the Super Bowl? How many times? What are the odds?
Yeah.
That's another thing that you have to bet on too. You have to consider that fact. Like, okay, wait a minute, just because they're the Rams and they're good, and the Bengals are the Bengals, so you figure like, okay, we're going to win by this month. You never know, because they have to win there, man. I wouldn't want to play in my home stadium. Not the Super Bowl. I would want to play somewhere else but my home stadium.
Yeah. Statistically, I actually had a better percentage of field goal made in away stadiums than I did at home.
Oh,
for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, God works it crazy, man. God works it
crazy. Yeah.
As we segue into another subject, there's been some controversy this week, and usually we don't get into anything controversial or political, right, James, on our show? Never. We've never done that. But something that I think that's relevant for this week, though, is the whole Joe Rogan story. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard bits and pieces of it. I've heard about Spotify.
Yeah.
And I heard today that actually the CEO of Spotify has kind of stepped up and said, we're gonna continue on with Joe, and this is all madness, basically, is what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your personal opinion about that?
I think, and I've gone through a lot of rabbit holes here in this whole political and this whole nightmare going on right now. So I don't want to get too crazy with you guys, but I have a firm belief that there's things going on that we clearly don't know about, and that there's an agenda by some evil people. And I honestly believe that that part of one of their many, many things that they keep trying to do, and the censoring thing, that's the thing. And I early on when COVID was a big deal and people were posting stuff about hydrochloroquine or chloroquine or whatever that is, that medication, they were being censored. And that was my first reality to the censorship stuff. I'm like, why? It goes against your community standards. What are you talking about? They're just talking about how they think that hydrochloroquine might be effective. Why not an option? At that point, there was no option at all. There wasn't a vaccine. There wasn't any other than going to the hospital and getting treated there, which we found out that a lot of people die when they go to the hospital. But the ivermectin's popped up now, and there's all kinds of different remedies and therapeutics that people have survived this disease by, but they don't want to hear any of it, and it's just like, it's just an opinion. Don't think it's a medical, and you get into the Joe Rogan stuff, and he's just inviting people on there that have opinions about what's going on, and the jabs and the things with COVID and the strange red flags that we all are seeing. How many red flags have you seen this in the last 2 years compared to your whole lifetime?
A lot.
How many things that you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all. Wait, what again, here I go. Yeah. What is Joe Biden doing giving crack pipes away? What in the world is that? He's going to spend $50 million on a crack pipe, thing where he's going to take these pipes and give them out to these drug addicts in certain sites and make it safer. And then he said something about a racial thing. Like, how is that? I'm lost. I'm
right. No doubt. Well, I just think I don't like the fact that they're trying to take our freedom, man. Freedom of speech. It's like, okay, if I want to get the shot, I'll get the shot. If I don't want to get it, I don't have to get it. But why are you making that? This is the mandatory. Like, we have to do this. I've had COVID. I know what to do and how to get healthy and how to beat it. I mean, it's not really the only thing about COVID. If you have a bad immune system, it will kill you.
I don't doubt that. I think anything that is like COVID or anything else that would get you would kill you. Older people with a flu die. But are you going to shut down the world because of that?
I know.
If you look at other pandemics, they've lost 40 million people back in the day to maybe the flu or this swine or whatever. But
like you said, it's something bigger than this. It's something bigger than this behind it, man. And it's just terrible to see our country go through something like this.
There's a lot of division too, and that is just man. He's talking about unity and this and that through I'm referring to Biden through his campaigning and all that. Well, we're going to bring the country back together and racial justice and this and that. I get it. I understand that. I'm all for it, but he's not doing the right way. That's not the right way to do that. All the things that he's doing, it's not working. Nothing's working. He's doing.
No doubt. And I'm not scared to say it. I was a Trump supporter because I like a lot of things Trump was trying to do. And you know what I mean? I only thing I knew about Trump was that he just wasn't a politician. He didn't walk that walk like that. So he was orthodox a little bit. So, but he still was getting a lot of things done, and he was for America. And that goes a long way with me.
Well, you said that he wasn't a politician, and I think that's the best thing you can have is someone in office who is not a politician, someone like a Trump who knows business. He's failed. He's screwed some people over. He's probably pissed off some people here and there. I get that. Right. But he knows what he's doing. What was wrong with America the last 4 years prior to this administration? And they're like, oh, we're going to build back better. We're going to fix this country. I'm like, fix it.
We're giving out crack pipes. We're giving out crack pipes now.
Wow.
Like I can see if it was needles because needles prevent, you don't want people using needles spreading AIDS. I get that concept, but crack pipes? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Just adding to their habits. Maybe they're we'll do them a favor, and instead of them breaking into stuff and stealing crack. I don't know.
Yeah, they can make that stuff. They make a pipe better than unbelievable. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot of little rabbit holes that I've gone down in the past, but and the other thing too that's really upsetting these days is it's really hard to believe things anymore. Like you never know what's really real anymore because there's people, there's so many things, so many that they're saying it's false, or there's these fact checkers on Facebook who are just independent people, right? Okay. And they're not really that knowledgeable and stuff. And there's people that are now coming out with things that they've been fact checked and maybe censored or maybe even deleted from their social media for something that today they've discovered that it's actually real. It's for real. So why did you take me off social media? Why did you censor my stuff? Why did you reprimand me for giving the actual truth, 4, 5, 6 months ago. And in reality, now it's what you're saying is true now was false back then. And then the science has changed somehow. What? When does science change?
Right.
No doubt. So you get a chance to check out the fight this weekend?
I did not, no.
With what's his name? Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman.
No, I did not see that.
It was good. I kind of figured Keith would win, because it's a great time for him to get back into boxing because he was out for 2 years. The last time he fought was Pacquiao, and he did an all right job against Pacquiao. Should have beat him, but he didn't get the win because he got knocked down. He knocked down, I think, 11th round. In that fight, and it would have been he probably would have got the decision because he's younger, but since he got dropped, he lost that fight. But it's a good time for him to come back to get in that round where Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and I think what's the other guy name? I think Bogaca, I think his name is. I can't pronounce his name, but he's the one that beat Pacquiao. So now he got all these guys getting ready to fight, so it's going to be interesting in boxing this year. So I'm hoping to see Keith Thurman. I like to see Keith Thurman and Crawford. Even though Crawford would probably win, but I think that would be an exciting fight. Even Errol Spence, but I think you'll probably see Thurman fight one of those guys before because they're already saying Spence is going to fight the guy that back. So I think they're putting that together. So that would be only right for Thurman to fight Crawford, and then those two would meet, Crawford and Spence. Mm-hmm. They should win. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all that unfolds.
A lot of drama in the boxing world too, huh?
Yeah, man. These guys, man, I'm telling you. What the thing is, right? You focus on all these guys all the time, right? But this happens to me. I focus on all these guys, then I gotta say, you know what? Damn, I gotta go back and do my homework. Who's coming up next after these guys? Yeah. Do you know? Do you know who's next? Who's the next superstar in boxing? I mean, you got Devin Haney. You got the ones that you know, but I'm not talking about the ones that you know. The ones that come after that. Who are these guys? Mm-hmm. And if you're not paying attention to the amateurs or you're not paying attention to the guys that are coming up on these cards, you won't know. I know Holyfield's one of them that's coming up out of there. You got Nico Walsh, he's doing a good job coming. So, you got some of these guys, you got Burrow Durant, he's coming around too. So these guys here, look to see them. And even Mosley Jr., he's coming around as well. And then you got Camacho guys, his son fighting. I think he's a third, but from what I'm understanding, he's fighting, doing well. And then you got Fernando Vargas, two boys, they fought on that card, on Thurman's card. And one of them did well. One of them fought, but the other one didn't fight. and he did well. They did well. So it's going to be interesting to see who's coming. That's where I got my eyes on. My eyes are there because that's how if you can snatch them up at this time, then you're doing good, and all you do is just work with them, and then next thing you know, you have a champion, a good one, someone, a superstar, hopefully,
It's big business.
No doubt.
So, Mike, you had a live event during the playoffs on millions.co. What do you think about that platform?
It's been very good, actually. I just had one of my kickers just posted on his social media and tagged me in it that he had bought some of the merchandise that the company puts together for us. So again, it's just drop shipped from wherever they make it and all that. And we just kind of try to help, come up with like a little bit of a logo or something. But there's that, and also just talking to people and shooting back some videos for some things, ask me anything sort of thing. I think it's great because it's interactive. I mean, there's a lot of these cameos, things like that out there that are on the platforms, but Millions has kind of got a good system down. I like their merch thing. I really do, because I think that adds a lot of credibility to their athletes and so forth. But I'm having a good time with it.
Oh, that's great, man.
When you was that night when you was watching the game, was it difficult to try to watch the game and talk at the same time and try to pay attention?
Well,
I know most of the
questions. You're watching me watch a football game. Like,
right. I know, but you have to answer those questions.
The questions I'm okay with, because I've got an answer for any question typically, and if I don't, I'll let you know. But the hard part was when there wasn't questions, and here I am, I know everyone's kind of looking at me, and I'm kind of watching the TV above the computer. But I would just start off telling stories, or I'll say, oh yeah, that reminds me of that story. So I'll just kind of come up and I like to be social and talk and all that, and those 3 hours or whatever it was went by pretty fast, honestly, because I was entertained myself,
because I was wondering, because if you're not paying attention to the screen where the questions come up, you could miss some questions. You know what I'm saying? I see you went back to a couple of questions. Yeah. I was like, that was cool. That was good that you did that. Because like you said, when it got quiet, that's when you went back. That was your opportunity, your window. And I was like, yeah, okay. Because that would be hard to do if you're answering questions and you don't catch a question because you're answering one. You know what I mean? Then you got to go back.
Yeah, definitely got to keep track of the questions so that everyone gets their questions answered. But it was good. I mean, it was very entertaining and it was easy to do. I mean, that was one of the things that they told me to do. I'm like, so how's the format? What's it going to look like? What are you doing? And they were just like, just be yourself and answer questions and have fun with it. That's why I brought the chocolate martini or the espresso martinis out there. My girlfriend was making the martinis.
That's right. That's right. You gotta, like you said, you gotta have fun with it. This is your sport, so you know all the answers to it. So it would you could do this sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love those. I'll definitely do as many of those as I possibly can. But it'll be next year football season. But
no doubt.
That's cool. Are there any other events coming up for Super Bowl on Millions?
They'll have some guys doing a show just like I did. I think, I'm not sure who they have, but probably bigger names than me, maybe. I don't know. But there are definitely at least a couple guys doing it, I believe. I haven't even looked at that. But yeah, they'll have a live show, I'm sure. And, I'm sure we'll come up with some other ideas for next year and see how we can. I was even thinking about doing something at a local sports bar, like get them involved with Millions or whatever, and
that'd be nice.
Have that like live in the sports bar, watching and interviewing people as they walk by, whatever.
Yeah, it's good vibe. Good vibe. You would like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, Mike, do you plan your own events with Millions, or do they plan them for you?
They asked me, they planned for me, as far as the watch party things. When it comes down to just, people buying merch or whatever, they just buy it whenever they need to or whatever. And anybody who needs, like the whole platform is basically ask me anything sort of thing. So people ask questions, I respond and ask, answer their questions. And they try to say, oh, just keep it short. I'm like, I'm not a short speaking kind of guy. I want to give you everything about it. If I'm gonna have to tell a story, I'm gonna make that story good. I don't want to make it real short. But
That's right.
you're gonna get your money's worth for sure.
That's right. I like that. You like that. People like that too, man.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're having fun with it and they ask a question, they get more than what they bargained for. And they love that. You know what I'm saying? They do.
Yeah.
All right. So to wrap up, any last predictions for this coming Super Bowl? James, you first.
Bengals, baby. The kicker's going to win it.
Okay. All right. What do you think? Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Rams by a field goal.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna be watching.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
hopefully, I just hope it'll be a close, fun game because the whole playoff season we've witnessed this last three weeks or so have been just amazing. So I hope
it has been, because there's a lot of different
blowout or a boring game. Make it fun. I hope it's fun.
Right, I hope so too. That's why I say it come down to the kickers, man, because that's you're on the edge of your seat when that happens. So definitely, I hope so too, man. I hope so.
So how are you gonna do Super Bowl, Mike? You gonna do it in your house or at a sports bar?
I usually have a little party, and we have a kind of a neighborhood party at 3 other houses around me that usually have people out, and we have a big screen that's like literally 12 feet wide by 6 feet tall or something, and we project the game onto the screen outside, and lots of people come over, and it's just a big kind of a neighborhood party. We've been doing this will be our 10th year doing it at my house.
Wow. Nice.
That's what I miss. I miss the communities like that because that's how I was raised. You know, we had a nice community, and everybody, we played all the sports. Whatever season the sports was, we played it, and the community got together, and it was just dope, man. It's hard to find that nowadays, man. And I think that's a great thing what you guys do in your community, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah, definitely got to keep it real and have fun with it. And our neighbors are great. They, nobody's going to call the cops or anything like it. It gets kind of loud. We have the speakers outside and the game blaring and everything. But neighbors are always pretty cool about it. The ones that aren't part of our group, but it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Yeah, you just let them know. That's all. That's neighbors. Basically, that's all they want to know. Just give us a heads up. You know what I mean? And then everything is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a good time. It might be a little chilly here in Florida, though. It'll be probably in the 50s or 40s, maybe even. So yeah, that's cool.
That's all right. That's hoodie weather.
That's fire pit weather. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right, man. But to me, that's hoodie weather. We wear our hoodies about that time. We used to the cold. So if we go 40, 50, we like, oh wow, this is great, man.
Well, Mike,
me, man, I'm a big baby when it comes to cold.
Are you?
My cousins was like that from California, and they were from the East Coast, but they moved to California, and they hadn't been in the East Coast like 10, 12 years. So one time they came, and it was during the wintertime. And my cousin, he's lighter than me, and his nose is all red, and he's like, man, it's cold. I said, man, it's only 36 degrees, man. Oh, he said 36, huh? I said, yeah. I said, it's warm, man. Unbelievable. He was the same way. He was all red and everything, man.
Well, Mike, man, it's been great having you as always. We're going to touch base again after Super Bowl to see, whose prediction was right, and if you have.
I hope you'll have to ask me how I'm feeling. Like I was,
All right, man. So we'll touch base, and thanks again, Mike, for being on our show.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Yep.
All right. Take care.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Living on Purpose podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.